Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Jeffrey Epstein Show. I'm your host, Bobbycapucci, and this is episode 14 of the Maxwell Files. Judge Preska, in a ruling today, has ordered the sealed documents in question in regards to the Ghislaine Maxwell and Virginia Roberts defamation suit to be delivered and unsealed on Thursday. This is such a significant development. It is a huge deal, and again, the information within these documents is going to prove crucial in my opinion. Now, remember what happened the day after Jeffrey Epstein's documents were released, however. So I hope that there is somebody guarding Ghislaine Maxwell 24 hours, 7 days a week under special circumstances. Because when this dump comes, and it's coming, folks, it is going to lay waste to everyone who was in Epstein's orbit and to everybody mentioned in those depositions. And I have a funny feeling it is going to be lava hot. Our article tonight is from Law and Crime, and the headline is, Federal Judge Orders Several Secret Jeffrey Epstein Documents to be Released by Thursday. The author of this article is Jerry Lamb. A federal judge on Tuesday ordered several documents related to a now-settled defamation case against deceased sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, his alleged accomplice in a global sex trafficking empire, to be released to the public no later than July 30th. So they have to turn them in to Judge Preska by Thursday, right? They have to bring forth whatever it is she's asked for by Thursday, and then they will be released after she receives them no later than July 30th. So, not much longer, folks, and these documents are going to be ready for the public to consume. It looks like there has not been any movement with the appeal in regards to this portion of the case with the Second Circuit Court of Appeals, and it looks like Preska is just going to continue to move forward like she said she was going to do if the Court of Appeals didn't step forward and take the case or make a ruling. So it looks like the documents have to be into Judge Preska by Thursday, and then they will be released to the public no later than July 30th. Which kind of sucks that it's such a vague date and kind of broad for me anyway, because I wanted to go to the Great Basin National Park on Thursday for a few days. But if these documents are going to be dumped, I don't want to be in the middle of the wilderness and have my climbing partner want to shoot me in the face because I want to read, court documents all day instead of climb and backpack. So I'm going to have to reevaluate things perhaps. U.S. District Judge Loretta Preska last week was unpersuaded by Maxwell and her attorney's arguments in favor of keeping the files under seal. Yeah, no shit. No shit she was. Yeah, I was hesitant to give Preska props when this all started, but she has proven, especially recently, that she is pursuing justice here and pursuing what she thinks is proper in regards to transparency. So again, I think that Preska should get a head nod here, and I believe that it's appropriate and right to give credit where it's due, right? If we're going to be critical all the time, then we have to give credit where it's due. And I think in this regard, at least for me, personally speaking, I think that what Preska's doing here is pretty righteous because she's under a lot of pressure from both sides. Dushewitz and his boys were probably trying to pressure her through back channels. I don't have any evidence of that, obviously, but that's how these things work, right? Oh yeah, Judge Preska, why don't we go have some dinner? And then they try and finesse, whatever decision they might want to finesse. And that's just how things go in the halls of power for the most part. But Preska obviously is not interested in any of that nonsense, and she's really looking at transparency here and moving this case along, which is very important. The judge reasoned that Maxwell's arguments carried little legal weight when balanced against the public's right to transparency. And again, the word transparency pops up, right? It's important to remember that at the end of the day, in the United States of America, we live in a society where it's supposed to be transparent. And we've gotten away from that. And perhaps, you know what? In fact, let me restate that. We've never even been there. The grand juries in general, I've railed about that. I think they're bullshit. I think that the whole entire process needs to be transparent so that citizens of the nation understand that justice is being served, no special favors are being granted, and there is not a two-tier justice system. That's what the bargain was with the government. That's what it should be. That's what they preach about. That's what they're always crowing about. Well, in this case, at the very least, in Judge Preska's courtroom right now, at least we're seeing a bit of that. A critical Preska said Maxwell's attorneys offered little more than her ipse dixit, a Latin term meaning an unproven assertion, in advocating to keep the documents from being released. For sure, they don't really have a leg to stand on, in my opinion. They don't have the high ground here. In fact, they're getting bombed with proverbial mortars from the high ground. They're dug in. So they really don't have a proper game plan here except to try and file as many motions as possible to try and slow things down. But it's not working right now. For the first time in the whole entire time, certainly since I've been covering this case, the shoe is most certainly on the other foot, and the predators have most assuredly become the prey. The documents slated for release include Maxwell's 2016 deposition, her correspondence with Epstein, and a deposition from attorney and former Harvard Law School professor Alan, I kept my underpants on, Dirty Dershowitz. I cannot wait to dig into that. In fact, I'm gonna read his whole entire nonsensical deposition on air. How about we do that? We'll read a little bit of it per each day, no matter how long it is, and we'll get in his own disgusting words what a piece of human excrement Dirty Dersh is. One of the worst, in my opinion. The architect of the original deal that protected Epstein and led to directly all of these other girls getting abused. And that's not even adding on what Virginia is saying he did to her. So yeah, Mr. Dershowitz, my friend, you scumbag, you dirty piece of rotten dog shit, your day is coming, and you are going to be aired out, not only on this podcast, but everywhere. People like you are the worst of the worst in society. You feign to have the moral high ground, you feign to be the victim, but in reality, Dirty Dersh, you are an absolute disgusting, filthy parasite. Dershowitz has staunchly denied allegations that he engaged in any sexual activity with any of the girls or women associated with Epstein. In her first deposition, which is among the documents being considered on this motion, Miss Maxwell refused to testify as to any consensual adult behavior and generally disclaimed any knowledge of underage activity. Preska said during the hearing, referring to testimony quoted in her federal indictment. So, Dirty Dersh has forever, I had nothing to do with it, I was only there business-wise. Okay, well, you've admitted to one massage already. We know what massage means in Jeffrey Epstein's world. So who the hell do you think you're kidding, you piece of trash? I hate to go in so hard on people, but man, this dude just rubs me the wrong way. He's just been nothing but a vile, disgusting, just piece of garbage. Defend yourself. That's cool. Vigorously defend yourself. But you can do it without coming off like an utter asshole and a smear merchant. Because that's what he is. He runs around talking about how he's going to use the First Amendment and how he's a big supporter of the First Amendment, blah, 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 blah. And then the second anyone has anything to say about him, he goes right in with, you're an anti-Semite, or it's this, you're a drug addict, or you were on MySpace hitting on boys when you were 15. All of these dumbass, stupid assertions that Dershowitz makes are going to boomerang at some point and smash him in his stupid-ass crypt keeper-looking face. In the context of this case, especially its allegations of sex trafficking of young girls, the court finds that any minor embarrassment or annoyance resulting from any disclosure of Miss Maxwell's mostly non-testimony about behavior that has been widely reported in the press is far outweighed by the presumption of public access. It's a big deal, right? Preska's telling them, screw off. The public has a right to know what occurred here, and I'm dumping these documents. On Tuesday, Preska released a one-page order giving the parties 2 days to get 5 previously sealed files ready for public release. So, 2 days, get them ready. You have your deadline, 48 hours, on her desk by Thursday. And let the show begin. Get your popcorn ready. Get your reading glasses on. Get your coffee or your Jolt Cola or whatever it is you drink. And get ready to dive in to some documents, my fellow sleuths. The parties are directed to prepare for unsealing in accordance with the court's order of July 23, 2020. The documents listed in Exhibit A to Plaintiff Virginia Roberts' opposition to Defendant Ghislaine Maxwell's objections to unsealing docket entries 143, 164, 172, 199, and 230, the order stated. Counsel shall file those documents on the public docket under a heading of Documents Ordered Unsealed by order of July 23, 2020, no later than July 30th, 2020. The court incorporates its rulings specific to each document, which are set forth in the transcript of the July 23rd proceedings. Oh boy, everything is primed up, geared up, and ready to go. The rocket launcher is set, and a one-way trip to orbit for all of these dirtbags who are named in these documents is on tap, folks. The underlying case here is a defamation lawsuit filed by Roberts, who has been speaking out since 2011 when the United Kingdom's Mail on Sunday published an article alleging that Epstein and Maxwell furnished her to Prince Andrew while she was being trafficked by Epstein. Though Roberts' defamation case against Maxwell ended in 2017, Roberts' attorneys have fought a protracted legal battle seeking to unseal documents which may contain allegations against other public figures from Epstein's infamous elite social circle. And that has been the battle, right? That has been the war cry. That has been what they have asked for forever now. And now, look, folks, we're in the year 2020. Virginia's been talking since 2011. Annie and Maria came out in the mid-90s. So it's not like this just came out of nowhere. It's not like it just dropped on their head from the sky, okay? This stuff that we're talking about right here, these documents coming to light, Ghislaine Maxwell going to jail, co-conspirators getting indicted, this has all been a long time coming. And finally, the slow gears of justice have grinded. And directly in their path, oh boy, in their path is Ghislaine Maxwell and the rest of the disgusting cretins who enabled Jeffrey Epstein and his criminal enterprise. If you'd like to contact me, you can do that at bobbycapucci@protonmail.com. That's BOBBYCAPUCCI@protonmail.com. You can also find me on Twitter at BOBBY_CAPUCCI. All of the links that pertain to this episode can be found in the description box. All right, everybody, I'll talk to you next time.